Hi everyone. In the previous lesson, we introduced the concept of market failure, where markets do not produce the best outcome for society. Today, we go deeper into one of the most important causes of market failure, externalities. These are situations where private decisions affect others, often in ways that market fails to account for. Let's start with a simple idea. If you buy a coffee, you think about the price and your own satisfaction. If a firm builds a factory, it considers costs and profits. But here's the key question. What about the effects on others? For example, pollution affecting nearby residents, noise affecting communities, or maybe congestion affecting other drivers. These are invisible side effects and they are not reflected in market prices. What is an externality? An externality occurs when the production or consumption of a good affects a third party, and this effect is not reflected in the market price. There are two types. Positive externalities, these are the beneficial side effects, and negative externalities, these are the harmful side effects. The key point is, markets usually ignore these effects, which leads to inefficient outcomes. To analyze these externalities, economists distinguish between private costs and benefits affecting individual and social costs and benefits affecting society as a whole. When these differ, market outcomes become distorted. This is the core framework for understanding externalities. A negative externality occurs when social costs exceeds private costs. Examples include pollution from factories, noise from airports, and traffic congestion. Because producers ignore external costs, the market produces too much of a good and the equilibrium output is higher than the socially optimal level. This creates a welfare loss, a loss of overall economic efficiency. A positive externality occurs when social benefits exceeds private benefits. Examples include education, vaccination, research and development. Because consumers ignore external benefits, the market produces too little of the good, and the equilibrium output is lower than the socially optimal level. This also creates a welfare loss. Now let's apply this to education. Education generates significant external benefits such as high productivity, lower crime, better civic engagement, and long-term economic growth. However, if education is left entirely to the market, families may underinvest, long-term benefits may be ignored, and inequality may increase. This is just a classic example of a positive externality and it justifies government intervention. The goal of the government intervention is to align private incentives with social welfare. Governments can do this in many ways. One, taxes, used to reduce negative externalities. Two, subsidies, used to encourage positive externalities. Three, regulation, rules to limit harmful behavior. And four, public provision, direct provision of socially beneficial goods. These policies aims to correct market failure. However, intervention is not perfect. There are several challenges. One, measuring external costs accurately. This is difficult to quantify real social impact. Two, political constraints. Policies may be influenced by politics rather than efficiency. Three, administrative costs. Implementing policies can be expensive. And four, unintended consequences, which is when policies may create new distortions. So again, we must evaluate both market failure and government failure. This leads us to the next stage of analysis. We will study public goods and merit goods. These concepts further explain why markets sometimes fail and how governments respond. Now let's summarize. Externalities occur when third parties are affected by economic activity. Negative externalities leads to overproduction. Positive externalities leads to underproduction. Markets ignore social costs and benefits. Governments intervene to improve outcomes, but intervention has limits. The key takeaway is this. Markets often fail because they ignore wider social effects. Externalities are one of the most important reasons why. Understanding them allows us to analyze real-world issues like pollution, education, and public health, and evaluate whether intervention improves welfare. Thank you.